Hey, I'm Mark.
I'm Evan.
And Evan, in this podcast, if you're watching on video, is in front of the Earth. He's in space.
I'm in space. We go pretty
hard
with this one.
Yeah. You know what? It's not the most fun episode for Mark, but Evan has a lot of fun.
I don't have a lot of fun, but I think it's actually going to be one of the most rewarding episodes to listen to playback afterwards.
Amazing. So tell us what you think of it. Let us know if you like Evan beating the crap out of Mark for 1 full hour. Here we go.
And it's our 1 year anniversary.
How come you have a weird filter?
You like it?
No.
Really? I got the Earth on me right now. This is a planet, Mark. Look. Can I cover it? I can't.
Okay. Are you going to lose the Earth or what?
No. We're going to keep the Earth.
For the whole time?
Yeah. No? You don't want it on?
I find it distracting.
Whatever. You and your judgment. We're fine, Mark. Okay?
I find it distracting.
I discovered that you can add filters on Zoom. I just got off a Zoom with a guy in New York.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try that. So here we are. So I am on top of the Earth.
Not really, though. You're like, your angle, you're floating kind of in front of it, but you're see-through.
Yeah. You could. Oh, my head is floating, but the airplane you can see too. But my chest is not super visible, but the Doritos bag is still visible, which makes me very happy.
Yeah. Now, partially because I'm weird, I'm trying to figure out what part of the Earth we're even looking at here. I see some islands and stuff and lakes. I can't even figure out. It's such a weird angle. I can't even figure out what we're looking at.
This is the out of the Earth episode. This is what we're doing today. Okay, Mark, Let's go.
Okay, Evan. Let's go, dude. I've been so slammed this week, and I've been so busy this week that.
Nice. Look at the smile on your face as you're saying that, though. It's great.
I had to stop. I had to stop what I was. I'm like midway through writing a proposal, and I had to stop what I'm doing to jump on this call.
Okay. Well, you were a minute late, so.
I know, and I apologize. Last time you were 16 minutes late, so. And
was I 16? What?
No, that was 2 times ago. 2 times ago, you were 16 minutes late, and you felt terrible about it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Why? What was I doing?
See, here's the thing. I'm a minute late. I don't really care. I don't feel bad about it.
You should.
I know, because I'm supposed to live and die by my calendar.
Right.
Which is what I'm trying to do. But
right. Yeah, 1 minute late but you're not usually late at all.
Dude, I used to be early for everything. And then I realized maybe 4 or 5 years ago that everyone is late for everything and no one seems to get mad. And I totally let it slip. So I don't like being late for things. I like being, what does Evan say? If you're not 10 minutes early, you're late.
Yeah, that's some low standards, man. Yeah, you got to be early. If I'm doing here's what happens. So Thursday is my public facing day. I didn't have to do it to anybody today, but 5 minutes before I'm online. So if it's a Zoom or whatever, I'm ready to go 5 minutes before showtime, and I message them. If they're on, then great, we have a conversation. If they're not, I message them, say, hey, I'm here, ready to go. Mm-hmm. Everything okay? And I'll copy my assistant Sandra on it too, because she set it up. Yeah. And then if we get to the time, as soon as it hits 01, I'm out.
So here's the thing. Yeah. I know that you and Sandra just invited me to a whole bunch of new things.
Okay.
And she has put the link into every invite.
Okay.
So at 2:30, I stopped what I was doing. I saw that you texted me, and I went to my calendar.
Yeah.
And there's no link there. So now I'm like,
no link there?
No. So I'm like, okay. So then I'm Googling like Zoom, Sandra. I'm like scrolling through emails, and then that's ultimately what threw me 45 seconds off, which made that minute tick over and made me a minute late. So now I feel bad. I'm sorry, but really, it's your fault.
Yes. I mean, either way, it's my fault because I should have trained you better. It's like you train people how to interact with you.
I know. Sales are down. I'm worrying about sales, so I'm working on this proposal, and I got distracted. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I need to tell.
I'm working on a lot of things right now.
I need to tell Sandra.
No, you created that email. You moved it from 3 o'clock to 2:30. You were the one who created the email.
Oh, see, that's a problem. I made it. Okay, I need to update. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to update that link.
With our, drop the Zoom link right in there and let's go.
It's a recurring thing. It is a recurring thing, right? I hope so.
It's a recurring thing.
Oh yeah, Sandra's not even copied in on this. Oh, it's all me. Yeah. This is all my fault. I love it. This is so good.
Yeah.
I love it when I make giant mistakes. This is great.
It's not really a giant. It's actually a very, very small thing.
It's actually true, but I like that it's public. And we just figured that out. Okay, it's been updated.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was telling you how I made myself proud. What was it? Maybe 2 weeks ago for going to the gym 2 days in a row.
Uh-huh.
and you wanted me to pat myself on the back. And then I told you how I crushed it. And then you got all mad and tried to take it back because I was proud of my outcome.
Oh yeah. That's ridiculous.
Not the effort. And then last week I told you how everything in the last podcast, we spent quite a bit of time talking about how I learned on that Monday, that my saw broke and I was cutting all these bricks and it was terrible. I was in Boston.
Yeah. That was great.
And so we go, okay, so here's what's going to happen. Saturday, I'm going to go out and rent a saw. Right. And I'm going to finish everything. I'm going to
I cursed you, right? I cursed you.
What does Evan say? Evan says, I really hope Saturday everything goes wrong.
Yeah. I love it so much. It's great.
And so if you follow me on Instagram, you know how wrong it went, but everything went so wrong on Saturday.
And he had a giant smile on his face the whole time telling the story.
I was great. So I get up. So first of all, we're driving back from Boston. We're supposed to be home at 11 p.m. The I-90 is closed. We end up taking a 3-hour detour through the countryside of Massachusetts, which saved us 2 hours apparently still. But so we didn't get home. I didn't get to bed till 2 a.m. Next morning I get up at I think 8. Okay, I'm going to go rent the saw. So I rent the saw. I get the last one that they have, which I didn't realize. And I'm talking to my wife and I'm kind of fuzzy headed and sleepy and I'm not feeling good, but I'm going to get out there and hustle and make this work happen. And I pull on the saw once, I pull on it a second time, and the handle comes right off. The drawstring breaks. And I'm like, oh.
Nice.
That was the reaction. It wasn't even anger. It was just disbelief.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is exactly what Evan wanted to happen.
Right? I was putting the hex. We put the hex on.
And it's already like 10 o'clock at this point. Like anyone who does work knows you get out early and because you got to get your day in. So I now have to drive. I have to waste an hour driving back to this place. So I show up at the place and the guy's like, hey, why are you back? And I just show him the thing and his face drops because he's understaffed. He has no other saws to trade with me. He has no mechanic there. He's like, we're going to have to fix this ourselves. I was like, okay, let's go. So me and the sales guy pull the saw apart and try to get it fixed and we can't. Okay. And he's like, we can't fix it. I'm like, he's like, but if you drive to a different city and go to the Lowe's where we have a rental place, they'll have a saw for you. I said, does this saw work? The saw better work. Yeah. So I get in my truck.
Mark lives in the middle of nowhere for everybody listening.
No.
You have to drive to a different city to go to anyway.
Well, it's whatever. The cities bump up against each other. So anyway, so I drive into Whippy. I go to the Lowe's. I get the thing. I drive home, and it's like 10-1 by the time I get started on this project. But I was like going on Instagram all the time because secretly I knew Evan would love this, that everything went wrong.
Whatever. You loved it. This is great. I kind of wish I knew what Home Depot you were going to go to, because I would have called them and said, listen, I'll pay you $1,000. If my friend Mark Drager comes in, just say we don't have any saws and let him see the saws. Let him see them, but just say we don't have any. It's like, no.
Why would you do that to me? Why?
Just because it'd be great. Because I love you. That's why.
It was already like frustrating enough. Anyway, I got it. I'm still proud of my effort though. I'm proud of the effort.
This is the whole thing, dude. This is the best.
And I also crushed it that day. I didn't get a full day and I only got a half day in, but I worked until like 7 o'clock. Like I worked until I was so tired because I didn't really sleep the night before and I felt groggy and I felt terrible. And then the next day I got up on Sunday and I got out early and I just did it again. But
let's see it, Mark.
Everything went wrong, just like you said it would, Evan.
Stuff on the back. We want to see it. Videos. There's the pat.
Anyway, so I forgot about the story actually when I started talking about the gym. But all this said, this week I've been challenging myself to go into the gym 5 days in a row.
Okay.
And fasting until 5 p.m. every day. And I've literally, I kind of Instagrammed a little bit about this. I'm literally every night going to bed scared right now because because we're training for this thing that they call the dry try, which is a 5K run, 2K row, and 300 reps on the floor.
Okay.
And it's a race. Okay. And I signed up for it to challenge myself, but this because we're prepping for it every day this week, it's getting harder and harder. And they only recommend you go 2 or 3 times a week. And I'm like, I'm going to go 5 days in a row.
Okay.
And so today we did, 500 reps on the floor, a 1.5 mile run and a 2.5K row or something in like 55 minutes. And I was literally terrified. Like I was shaking walking in there, but I crushed it anyway. So, but then I can't be proud of that because it's proud of the outcome, right?
Are you proud of your effort, dude? Are you proud of the effort?
Yeah.
That's it. So great. That's what you said.
And I'm proud that I crushed it.
Great. Celebrate the effort.
Well, the effort was great.
Good.
I can't believe you still have the sun up. Can we go ahead and put that filter to bed or what?
Really? You want me to move the filter?
Is it do you have different filters?
They're not great, to be honest, but yes.
But you think this one is. That's scary.
Yeah, I love that I am like part of, but listen, okay, like I take away the green screen, then that's what happens. Now I'm actually on the earth, but it cuts my face a little bit here. Yeah, let's just go with this for a while. All right, sure. We'll go with this for a while. How you doing, Mark?
This is so weird. This is the new version of Believe. It's like something out of like a 1998 Crystal Energy book.
I might just do, if I actually had a green screen behind me, this would look pretty sick. Like it would, the cutout's a little awkward right now. It's small, but it's like cutting off the side of my face a bit.
Yeah. Your shirt looks good though. Your hoodie has a really nice clean cut.
Maybe if I put the hoodie on.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Is that better?
That's all right. Great.
There we go. Solutions. Don't need a green screen. Wow, let's go.
I just took a screenshot of this.
All right.
Smile. Here, smile for the camera. There we go. That was great.
Perfect.
Anyway, so I just wanted to update all the listeners and viewers on how awesome I am, basically.
I like that. Mark Drager from 4 years ago wouldn't have said that.
Maybe in jest, like sarcastic, negative.
No, not even.
Sardonic jest.
Not even. You were far away, dude.
Yeah. Hey, it's been a year. It's our 1 year anniversary. For I've talked about this before, but getting
the Tony Robbins thing,
pressed, and then you inviting me to Tony Robbins and all of that stuff.
Right.
So last year,
November when we went. When did we go?
It was, but it was in September that you invited me.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. Right? We used to have masterminds on the second Thursday of the month.
Yeah.
So that would be, I guess, tomorrow because it's not a leap year.
Wow. So, dude, wait. Hold on. We're recording this on the second Thursday.
Yeah.
Of September.
Yeah.
It was this. Wow. And you're bailing on me for tonight. Our anniversary, Mark. You forgot our anniversary.
Don't say that. I didn't forget it. I'm the one who remembers this. I remember that I came back from Labor Day.
Is it in your calendar? Because it's in mine.
But you didn't invite me to it.
I just assumed it was a standing invitation. Our anniversary.
We didn't do it all summer, though. We didn't do July. Fine. We didn't do August.
Fine, Mark. It's okay.
I thought we saw each other so often that you were tired of seeing me, basically.
It's in my calendar. Our anniversary. It's not happening. Second, this was the day.
I can't tell if you're actually... You're making me feel bad. I can't tell if you're actually upset or not.
No, it's fine. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you.
I'm just poking. Yeah. I don't get sentimental.
I get anxiety about the wrong thing, so now you're going to give me anxiety about it. Yeah.
Get a little bit of anxiety. That's okay. Just because I like to poke, but I feel don't beat yourself up. I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about this week? Because I texted you earlier in the week and said, hey, this episode, we are going to talk about the Thought Leadership Academy. Okay. Because you asked if we were going to do a podcast, and then your wife, Nina, texted me like the next day.
No.
And set up a whole meeting for next Wednesday.
That's not what I wanted to talk about on the podcast.
Oh, what did you want to talk about?
The whole text exchange in Boston.
We talked about that last week on the podcast.
Did we? About momentum?
Yeah.
And then
we talked about the fact that you beat me up and you made me cry and that I felt really bad, and we talked about that last week.
Okay. And then what was the resolution?
I don't know. I don't know if we went into enough detail that anyone even knows what we're talking about at this point.
Well, there you go. See, that's what I was telling Alex. How
you want to talk? You want to talk about that this week? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know that I want to talk about that this week. So
you don't want to talk about that?
Well, I don't know. You start hosting then. You okay? If this is what you want to talk about, then you lead the conversation.
Well, I'm okay, Mark. If you want to talk something, if you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to. I'm
open. I'm an open book.
I'm just a dog. I fetch. Mark throws a bone and I fetch.
Here. This is how open I was when I was in Boston alone and feeling really bad. I was crying, and I thought for a few minutes, how do I respond to Evan? So like, cause if he knows how upset I am, then I don't know if he's going to think I'm being melodramatic or not, but that's the picture of me with tears rolling down my cheeks that I sent to him. So if you want to get into this, I'm cool with that.
Okay. So give the backstory.
No, you're hosting. So you give the backstory.
Oh, okay. Well, I feel like, okay, whatever. I'll give my version of it and you jump in. So I don't know, 2 weeks ago, when did we sit down?
When did we sit down? We sat down the 17th of August.
Oh, so it's almost a month ago. But this was like 3 weeks after then, the meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mark and I sit down talking about my website. I want my website to get better. I want it to be better, faster, more accurate, more emotion, more belief, better, right? I'm frustrated with it. Mark's my guy because he's the best in the world at what he does. So we said, okay, Mark, what's the next step? Next step is you got to come in and we got to wireframe this thing up and
sitemap it.
Sitemap it. Yes. Okay. So basically understanding what is on each page. Perfect. Let's do it. We book a time. I come in. That was August 17th. Mm-hmm. And we laid out the structure for all of the pages on the site. Great. Then Mark says something like, we can't do this super quick because I don't have the resources yet to help you. What was the takeaway? What was the final? You say what you said.
Sure. So we finished working on this together.
Yeah.
And what I said was the next step is wireframing the pages. Okay. We're not going to, we don't have the resources to run this through the company. So I'm helping you like as a friend, like this is like a side project. And next week I'm only in the office for 4 days. Then I'm on vacation for a week and a half. And then I'm in Boston for a week. So it's going to be September when we can pick this up. Okay.
And what did I say after that?
You said you didn't like it. So we talked for like an hour and a half of the different options.
Okay.
And in the end, what I very clearly said was 4 days in the office next week, blah, 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 blah. It's going to be September before I can get to it.
Okay. And then?
That was it. That was it. That's what we agreed to.
So we agreed to the next step is we're going to meet in September and talk about it.
No, that I would wireframe the pages when I had time in September.
Oh, okay. The next step was you would wireframe the pages by yourself when we're in September.
Yes.
By the way, we're September 12th. How are we doing on the wireframes, Mark?
Are you kidding right now? After this whole conversation we had?
Okay, so this is great. So here's what happens. Wait, where's Mark? Did he just go to the bathroom? What's he doing? Mark! There he is. Okay.
I was hiding under my desk.
Great. Okay, I just want to make sure we got the story right because the progression is helpful for you.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so
the progression is helpful for the listener or for me.
Sure. Well, both.
Okay, great. So what kicked this all off is I'm in Boston and I'm sitting in a Facebook thing and TikTok came up and I've been on TikTok. My kids are on TikTok, everything else. I naturally say, hey, what's Evan doing on TikTok? And I see he's doing something. So I randomly ask him a TikTok strategy and that unleashes Evan beast mode.
So I woke up and I'm taking my dogs up the stairs like I do every day. And I'm thinking, what's happened with my website, man? Like, we need momentum on the website. Like, I am allergic to no momentum. I hate it. I hate having no momentum. It drives me nuts. Part of the challenge in work with me is that I pick where there's no momentum, and then I get frustrated and want to attack it. So I was gonna message Mark and like, whatever. Mark is doing his thing. He's has been away.
And to be fair, we started talking about your website a year ago, October.
Great.
So October, it'll be a year.
You're making this worse.
Not making it worse because you've actually been very, very patient for really long periods. And so I would never have assumed that you would get impatient after we just talked on the,
Anyway, I want to message Mark. I'm upset. Like, okay, whatever. He's in Boston. He's doing his thing. But then he gives me this message about TikTok. I'm like, really? Talking about TikTok? Like, who cares about TikTok right now? And so I said, dude, we need momentum. Like, what's happening on the website? What's the next step on the website? We got to move on the website. And then he messages me back, and you can tell I pushed the button because he's like, you always do this, and I'm adding tone to it. So you can. It was pretty. There was tone. It's like, you always do this to me. We agree on something, and then you inject yourself, and like we had timelines. We agreed to it, and now you're making things worse by coming in the middle of it and saying, what are we doing? Is that like a good, the words are off, but is that a good yes? You have to go find out exactly what you said?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Like, you always do this. You said that.
Yeah. First you say, yeah, let's pull up the transcript that we have here.
I'm looking at my
And
phone.
you go, hey, did you see, was pissed in the staircase? I said, you were pissed at me?
Yeah. Okay.
Both of us. When did I come in?
Both of us.
I said, you came in a few weeks ago. I was on vacation last week. I'm in Boston this week. What do you want? And then you say, this is terrible speed. I said, okay, I don't really get it. Why you're mad. When you were in, I told you that I couldn't commit to timelines, that I was busy. You said, lack of momentum equals pissed always.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yes. So then I say, see, this always happens.
Right.
I tell you I don't have the team or the resources. And you want help, that I want to help you, that I need to build the team. And you are understanding, but then you're pissed. And you said, exactly.
Exactly. Yes.
I said, okay, so you're pissed and impatient, but understanding. What am I supposed to do with this? And then you changed the subject to focusing on hiring someone else. I said, rather than thinking about TikTok, I said, dude, I'm in a session. They're talking about it. I was just asking. And then you say, was I being unreasonable? And you get super philosophical then.
Hey, this is great, because I just saw this quote about all progress depends on the unreasonable. I just said it in my videos that day. So I was waiting. I was just baiting Mark to say, yes, you're being unreasonable, so that I can say all progress depends on the unreasonable man.
Great. So you're baiting me.
Go.
Thank you. So you admit you're baiting me.
Yeah.
So I said, your site requires me to set aside 10 to 12 hours of my time to start working on it. I was in the office 4 days. Then I was out for a week. Now I'm in Boston. I don't have anyone to give this to in the company. So being upset seems unreasonable. And then you say, wow.
Did I say that? Okay.
Yeah. And then you go into the quote you just went on.
Yeah. Say it, Mark. Say the quote. I forget it.
The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the reasonable man.
No. On the unreasonable man. Say it right.
I said that. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man.
There you go. Okay, good. Yes.
And then I said, was I not clear about this when you were in the office? And I was baiting you then because I knew you'd be like, I don't remember.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. This is the whole point. Like, this is why I said a couple of times in there, like, you're shadow boxing with yourself, because you're the momentum guy, because the whole problem is contained inside the, I need 10 to 12 hours to dedicated time to do. No, you don't. Nope. What's the next step? I'm pushing momentum on other people, saying, hey, Evan, for me to do this by the end of September, I need 10 to 12 hours. I don't have that right now. But if you want to do something, the next step is you make a video on your homepage, say these things and this call to action, and post it. Like, what's the next step? Momentum, lack of momentum should be allergic. And here's the thing. It's I'm forcing it, which is fine, which is my role. But this is the business that you want to have. You have focus on momentum on your wall. You have let's go as your thing. Let's go. Like, there's no any project that has no momentum should be toxic. So what's the next step? Even if you can't do what we agreed on, awesome. I want to know, and you're not just me, screw me, your clients want to know that Mark Drager is pushing the momentum train forward. And that means you don't just accept whatever timelines we set. Like, what's a smaller version?
Sure. My position, and the reason why we kept going down this rabbit hole for 45 minutes or an hour talking about it, was what is the point of us spending 90 minutes talking through every which way we could look at this, talking about timelines, being open and honest about when we could attack it and when we could get on it and when we could focus on it, just so that way 3 weeks later, you not remembering any of the things we spoke about, you like jump on and get all super angry and jump on me for not doing something.
Look, did you see at the beginning? What did I say? I'm pissed at both of us.
Right.
On you. I'm jumping on both of us.
Sure.
I'm taking it personally. But I'm pissed not because my website has no momentum. I'm pissed that you are not driving momentum for all of your projects and that you're fighting it. If you said, I know, I feel the same way. Great. Okay. What's our next step? But you're fighting it and say, here's these things that we agreed to that are super slow timelines. Great. Like, what can we do right now? You should be pissed off that anything that has Mark Drager next to it and has zero momentum should be angst. That's what you get anxiety over. And then pushing it on people. Like, I need to hire this role for my company. Great. Momentum. Let's go. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
I told you this somewhere in there, Awesome Exchange. You're at some marketing event and it said the greatest marketing thing you could do is go look at all of your however many clients and figure out a way right now, 5 minutes per client, of how to bring momentum. For you just to say, hey, Evan, I'm part of it is I don't feel like you care, right? Like in the response is like, there's no momentum and I'm the one fighting for it, where you should be the one fighting for it because your name is on it. You're involved in it. So spending 5 minutes to think, hey, what can we do to make Evan's website go faster? Okay, I can't do it yet because I'm doing X, Y, Z, but if Evan made a video, that would make it go faster. And then even just sending it to me, I may not even be thinking about it. I'm thinking about something else. But I know, you know what, Mark Drager, he wants to inject momentum into this. I love that guy. That's the problem. There's no momentum.
Sure.
We're just accepting status quo. And Mark Drager is okay with that. And
I'm okay with, I was okay with it.
No, but you're not.
I was okay with it because at the time we had sat down and talked through everything. And so
But
I don't want to re-argue this whole thing with you again, but I'm explaining to you my rationale at the time.
But I'm telling you, the rationale is not who you actually want to be.
Okay.
That's why
I'm willing to accept that.
Great. Well, then then it's done. That's the whole thing.
So within our organization here, we have at any given time between 40 and like right now we have 98 open projects.
Great.
And I was just sitting in an agile meeting today where they were talking about the new agile streams that we're looking at implementing. And Louis turned to me and goes, Mark, we can't have the 720 open tasks that we have all on this board. So that is also, so the reason why I got upset as we worked through all that stuff is because as an entrepreneur, and I think like all of us face that at a certain point, it feels like you are running through water, or you're pushing that boulder up the hill or whatever. Mm-hmm. But between sales and marketing and operations and staff and client work and delivering and fixing process and everything else,
yeah.
You can't do everything as well as you want to, which pisses me off.
Sure.
But it feels like everything is on you all the time.
Yeah.
And so in that moment, when you're upset at you and you're upset at me for me not pushing you on something when I was in a window of time where I was like, great, this is not one thing that I have to worry about. It just beats you down.
Great, but you're so upset because you think the same way.
Sure, and I want it, and we're building it, and we need to grow it, and we need to do those things, all of those things.
The whole thing. I mean, that's the whole. It has nothing to do with my website. It's your whole mindset around it. You say, yeah, you're right. I'm pissed. There's no momentum. You know what? Here's what we can do. But even better is, Evan, I'm pissed that there's no momentum. Like some email at 2:00 in the morning or 4:00 in the afternoon or whatever, saying, hey, Evan, I know we said this, but I'm really pissed that it's going to take me this long.
One of the biggest struggles I've had over the last year and a half with the organization at our size, but we're doing a lot of changes and we're expanding in a lot of ways, and so there's a number of challenges with doing so many different services for so many different clients with the resources we currently have. It is really, really, really hard to keep on top of everything. Like all of the conversations, all of the decision points, all of the actions being taken, all of the results, everything.
You do hard. You love difficult. I mean, what do you? Yes, and
listen. I'm not. If this comes across as excuses, I don't want them to be excuses. I want to explain my perspective and the reality of what I face.
You're not happy with your perspective. That's all.
Cool. I'm willing to say yes.
Well, that's great. That's the whole thing, right?
So that's what you wanted to talk about in this thing, or do?
No, it was important to me that you got it because we didn't actually resolve it in the message.
No, because you made me really, really angry.
Yeah.
You pushed too far.
Yeah, without the context. Like you were already in a mood before I even messaged you.
No, I was completely taken aback. No, actually I was in a great mood. I was having an awesome day.
Not from that. From the chain of, Evan, you always do this.
Yeah, because I was floored. I was so taken aback, and one, I thought you were unreasonable, surely. it seemed completely crazy to me that you and I could spend 90 minutes talking about this, laying everything out, only later for you to come along and be like, I would normally swear here. What the heck's happening? Why isn't stuff happening? And I go like, what is the point? What is the point of the conversations we had? And I understand that you're upset for me not hitting potential or taking action, but to me, everything had been very clearly discussed. So that's I wasn't in a mood. You put me in a mood when I was like, what is the point of the conversations we've had?
It's in a mood from all of the previous scenarios of me jumping in. But really, you want to be the guy jumping in. All I'm saying is, hey, we have no momentum. You got a sign on your wall that says focus on momentum. Focus on momentum. What are you focusing on? Not momentum. Excuses. A bunch of other stuff. We got 1,000 projects. Great. Focus on momentum. On momentum. Yeah, you coming up with even now, like find all the reasons why you can't.
I think, Mr. Carmichael, I think you need to decide on how many areas of my life you want to push me on at one time, because you stack them up so much. And while I appreciate it on a certain degree, I don't even have time to work through the last 3 things that you've been pushing me on yet. Do you know what I'm saying?
But the first step is just awareness. This didn't need to be a thing at all. People say, yeah, I feel crappy that there's no momentum on this thing.
But I didn't feel crappy.
It didn't.
I know.
That's the whole thing.
I didn't feel crappy because to me, we had discussed it, and it wasn't out of the list of things I have to do. It wasn't something on my list right now. Now, if we're halfway through September and we hadn't talked about it, but we talked about this last week, and I sent you stuff to do, and if we're into October and I'm like totally dropping the ball, I would feel horrible. But to me, we had discussed certain timelines, and so it literally wasn't on my radar. And that's what upsets you. And you were mad that I wasn't considering something that had clear timelines that I didn't need to be considering at that time.
No, I'm saying you do need to be considering it. Because
philosophically, in an ideal world, yes, I need to be considering everything for every client all the time.
It doesn't take, not all the time. It doesn't take that much time.
It takes a lot of time.
Listen, if you said, no, it doesn't. No. That's the point. Like, for you to do it like you want, it takes 10 to 12 hours or whatever. Maybe it takes you 14. I don't know. For you to do it like you want, it takes that amount of time. But you can inject momentum in much smaller doses just by spending a little bit of time thinking about it. It could have been 8 minutes of thinking to say, hey, Evan, I'm pissed that this is taking so long. You know,
and I sent you stuff the next day.
I know, but like you sent it because of like how many other people did you send it for?
Nobody.
Exactly. That's the problem. Like you didn't even do the exercise. Like the greatest marketing thing you could do is think about all your clients, every project you have, and spend 5 minutes on each one about how we could bring more momentum to it. Even if it's putting on them, like, hey, if you want to move this up faster, you could do this, this, and this. I was just thinking about you. It's the greatest marketing of all time.
Hey, yesterday I emailed Alex and told you guys you had to redo your TDS Facebook group out of the blue.
Yeah, great. Awesome. That's what I'm talking about. Mark is pushing the momentum train. You said, Evan, for this podcast, Evan, we're not getting enough momentum. We need to do something. Okay. Yeah, let's go.
And I don't know how to explain how tiring it gets to carry everything and everybody all the time.
I hear you, dude. That's the game though. Like if you want to get to the next level, it's not like you're tired when you hit the gym and you're on the pedal or whatever, or that race that you're running and getting ready for. You couldn't even have like started that race 5 years ago.
No.
You would have died in the first 5 minutes of it, right?
Yes.
It's not that the race got easier. You got stronger. It's the same thing. You're getting stronger, and all of this is building strength. It's never going to get easy. You want to build a $10 million company, it's not going to be any easier. It's going to be harder, but you're going to be stronger. The things that you're able to deal with now are easy compared to what they used to be. This is part of building strength. And the first starting point is, I'm overweight and I got to get healthy, right? The first starting point is, yeah, I'm not focusing on momentum. I need to do a better job of that. Okay. Like, it doesn't have to be that much work or that difficult. You're stronger. Dude, you're already way stronger.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this is what the next level looks like for you, because you want to focus on momentum. It's not the same advice for somebody else. Yeah, I'm looking forward. I mean, I told you, I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but when we talked about the Thought Leadership Academy, raising the prices and doing a promotional video, you sent me 8 different videos or something that I was supposed to record, and then I didn't do them. And whatever, lots of excuses, busy, yes, all true, but at the end of the day, I still didn't record them. And I felt bad that Mark told me to do something and the timeline closed and I didn't do it on time, right? That you invested time. I mean, you said that took you 15 minutes or something. Mm-hmm. It could have been even less. Like you could have just said, do one video, here it is. And if I didn't do it, it's on me. Like it's sucking because of me. But it's not sucking because you didn't think about it. You want your clients to know that I've got your back, that I want to inject momentum. The problem with your business is lack of momentum, and I'm here to fix that. Let's go. Like that, at the end of the day, that's the problem that you face. Whether you're a sales organization or marketing, I don't know if you're switching your positioning after the trip. I saw Louis' video, like, we're not in marketing, we're in sales. Okay, awesome. Like whatever one you are. The problem you solve for your clients is a lack of momentum. That's what you do. You inject massive momentum into a business to help them scale, because you're going to bring in sales, you're going to bring in revenue, and they can build their business from it. So you're in the momentum building business. So you have to care about momentum. So anytime a project has a momentum, it should bother you, even though it's not possible. It's an impossible dream to be everywhere, injecting momentum in everybody. If you're mentoring, yes, I want to be mentoring everybody all day long. You can't. It's not possible. But it's caring about it. Banter is in the momentum building business. We generate momentum for you. The biggest problem you're facing is a lack of momentum. See, all great stuff comes out of these conversations. Right? We've just changed your whole positioning. It's great. You're in the momentum building. You've always been. That's why you have the sign on your door. It's why you chose Let Go. It could have been something else. It could have been focus on excellence. It could have been we get it perfect. Like there's lots of stuff it could have been. It's not. Awesome. Anything that doesn't have momentum.
I think the longest I stay silent, the more you just keep going.
Yeah. But I'm sporadic on it. I'll just wake up and think, man, I have no momentum here. Let's go. We got to fix this problem.
Yeah, guess what? You're an entrepreneur, right? Yeah. I'm an entrepreneur too, so I'm sporadic on lots of stuff that might,
But this has to be procedural in your business.
And it is more procedural within the business. It's got to get way better, and it will. Yeah, but every time we do something out of our standard operating procedures and our standard team, stuff like this always happens, because it's like a side stream. You know what I mean? Like we just, like, oh, we'll help you with this on the side, and we'll do this, and then things always get bumpy because, yeah. Anyway,
it's only the caring. It's only the like that you didn't care or think about it. That's the only thing. It's only the care. Clients, I can handle. Dude, I've handled a lot of bumpiness. I can handle a lot of bumpiness. Clients can handle a lot of bumpiness. What they need to know is that you're thinking about them and that you care and that you're going to make it right. That's all.
Good. long silence in an audio podcast. So anyway, that's what happened last week when we were in Boston.
Yep. How you feeling, Mark?
Not great again.
But you should. This is all great.
It's knowing, it's having a standard.
Yeah.
And knowing that you're not currently hitting it, mm-hmm. and not knowing when you'll be able to hit it. I know that it's not happening. You know that's not happening, and yet you still insist on pushing on it. That's when I say you always do this, that's the frustrating thing. I know it. You know it. We know we're working towards it. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know when we're going to get there, because it's something that's very, very lofty in my opinion, and something we're working and striving towards. But you still turn the screws anyway. So yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Great. all fantastic. Like listen, even just knowing what you have to get better at is half the game.
Listen, my middle name might as well be Disappointed. It might as well be like Mark Disappointed Drager, because I have no issues with looking at and pointing out things that aren't good enough for my standards.
The whole point is not to beat yourself up. It's to like, let's go. Okay, yes, let's fix it. You should feel pumped. This is amazing.
I don't like within my personality, baked within me, I don't know how to not be defensive of things like that. Because usually you'll say something completely outrageous and I'll sit on it and I'll think how to react to it and what to say. And there's no path. There's like you say these most crazy, outrageous things.
Like what?
Oh, dude. So many things.
Well, let's use this as an example. What's so crazy and outrageous? You said I'm being unreasonable, so.
Yes. Like here, let me pull up something. Evan, let me think here. Evan.
You have a swipe file of outrageous comments?
No. I remember one in particular. So TDS, a company that you own, your one word, whatever is belong.
Yeah.
So I'm doing market research for another client, and we come across a campaign that's called #ProudToBelong.
Okay.
So naturally I send it to Alex, right? And Alex says, wow, this is what we need to do for the ads for TDS. I love it. Thanks for sharing it with me. Belong.
Okay.
And your response is, this is honestly pretty crappy video, guys. Terrible storytelling, bunch of platitudes. It only got 1 million views because they put ad spend against it. Look at the comments. The only thing people want is the name of the song. This video totally missed the mark.
Okay.
To me, that's like such an outrageously like critical and negative. Like all I was doing was sharing something with him. So I never responded to that because I don't know how to not defensively respond to that.
Well, okay, so great. You send this video. What are we supposed to do with it? So it was a video that was, I kind of remember the video, super poorly done. I
didn't think it was poorly done.
Well, nobody, fine, great. Look at the reactions.
Right.
No, look at the comments. Did anybody say, man, what a great video? No. The comments are just, what is that song?
But that's not the point. The point was that Alex's thing is Belong, and I just sent it off like, here's something about Belong. And you jumped on it like hypercritically about a lack of taste or a lack of belief or.
What was Alex's response?
Alex's response is, wow, this is what we need to do for it. Love it. Thanks for sharing.
Exactly. That's why it missed the mark, because that's not what we should be doing, because the video sucked.
I never said it was what we should be doing. But
Mark, that's how he interpreted it. Look at his feedback. That's what we should be doing for TDS. When you send stuff out, people pay attention. You're Mark Drager.
Yeah.
Your words carry weight.
Great.
There's meat. So when you send something, you might have one interpretation of it, but he's saying, great, we should be doing this for TDS. No, we shouldn't. That video is terrible. No, let's not do that. It's how the message lands.
Okay.
Said, hey, I think this video sucks, but it's about Belong. Check it out.
I wouldn't share it if I thought it sucked.
But that video did not have a result for the client. Look at the feedback. Go watch it. It was a brutal video. Like, that is not a video that we should. I love storytelling. I think we should do videos around Belong. I love that, but not that video. Look at how Alex reacted to it. We should do that. That's the problem. That's what I'm reacting to.
So I shouldn't have shared it at all? I shouldn't have sent it to him? Because every single thing needs to be wrapped in this proactive. If you react this way, then let me get in front of it this way. And if you might react this way, you might love it. So let me add all of this context, which you've told me you also hate me adding context to everything, just in case someone reacts a certain way, because they may react. You may have an allergic reaction to how they react, and then it'll prove that we've missed the mark in terms of our judgment and all of those things. That's how I can't not get defensive about these things.
This is the EQ game. Like, what do you think? What do you want Alex to take from this? Why did you send it to Alex? You don't want
literally because it was a campaign around Belong, and that dude is obsessed with Belong. So here you go. Here's something that made me think of you.
Great. So just say that. This video sucks, but here's something. But it made me.
I wouldn't have said it if I thought if I thought that it was terrible. Ooh, that's really loud. Can you hear that or no?
No, I can't hear anything.
Oh, okay.
But that's part of the problem, because that video that's a bad video. Like, if you think that's a good video, then that's a problem. If you thought it was just around belong, then this made me think of you because it's around belong.
Right, but that's a super subjective thing. The fact that I think something's good and you think that it's terrible is a subjective thing. It's not objective.
Look at the feedback. Look at the feedback. Look what people are saying about it. 1 million views with a bunch of ad spend against it.
Sure.
And not great. So great. 1 million people watch this thing, Mark, and nobody's leaving positive comments. No, I mean, at some point it's not subjective. And honestly, I have a lot more respect for your eye for talent and quality than that. Like, now I think it's just getting defensive. I think if you watch that, I don't think you'd be anywhere. If you release that as a Phantom Media project, I think you'd be embarrassed. It's not a good video.
It's okay. So this is how judgy you get about things.
No, but great. Look at the results. It didn't move people. All they want to know is what the name of that song is. And then Alex's response is, let's do something for TDS. No, let's not model that. No, that's not the right thing to do. If you found some super cheesy thing around belong and sent it and say, hey, Alex, this made me think of you, #belong. And he's just feeling belong, great. People send me a picture of, if you saw believe written in the sand somewhere and you took a picture.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here on the beach and wherever, and I saw this, made me think of you. That's different. But the problem is how Alex reacted to it. He thought you were saying we should do this.
Okay.
Which is not what, maybe that wasn't your intent. I hope it wasn't your intent. That's the problem. How is your advice landing? How is it moving people? Okay, so that's one. What's next?
That's it. Those are the types of things. I can't get into any deeper things because then it gets too operational. But
all right,
yeah, those are the types of things where you jump on these little things and you pick them apart because you decide that day that this really matters to you, even though you've kind of like ignored other things up to that point. And then yeah. Anyway, so that's something that I want to work on anyway. I understand that I need to work on, being defensive or but it just taps into my innate reaction and the fact that I don't feel good enough and I always have to prove myself. So each time that you jump on these things, like, hey, why didn't you think to drive momentum? I'm mad that you didn't think to do this. And I'm just like, my reaction is like, I just didn't think of it. We talked about this. I didn't think of it. It's the like,
that's the problem. And for me too, it's not at us. Like, why wasn't I thinking about it? Why am I, if you said, Evan, why are we not doing more work on,
if we planned a trip and we said, hey, in March, we're going to go on this trip. And then in January, you're like, what the hell? Why aren't we meeting to plan the trip in March? I'd be like, because there's nothing to plan. There's nothing to talk about. We're going away in March. We talked about this. Like, I'm not even thinking about March. I'm not even thinking about the trip. That's why I wasn't thinking of it.
Well, but that's borderline offensive to like put on my.
Why is that borderline offensive?
Because like a personal trip, what's the point of this trip? Is it a big deal or just going on some vacation? Like, I don't care about a vacation, whatever. We show up last minute. This is my website, man.
Sure. I did this with my wedding. My wife wanted to book everything 9 months in advance. And I said, we're not going to worry about this right now. We're going to worry about it when we're 4 months out from the wedding, when it actually makes sense to book stuff. We literally did not talk about the wedding for 7 months.
Okay. But there could have been like, there's no reason. You have this wedding coming up in 9 months or whatever. There's no reason why there should not be more momentum right now. We could do something. I could do something. Is it on me or is it on you?
But this taps into what we talked about, yesterday, I guess, when we did our Q&A thing, which is I live more in the land of urgent. So I'm using up all my current time on things that are more urgent, and I'm pushing off other things that aren't urgent. So that's just how I manage my time currently. So
it's just procedures. It's just you can make time for it. You can I think you should look at every client every week and say, how can we bring more value to them?
And that's why.
No, but like if you say, hey, Evan, your videos suck. I watched your espresso today, had no energy.
Would never say that.
What?
I would never say that.
No, but listen, if you think that, you should say it. And I'd be, okay, great, Mark. Awesome. I'm trying my face off with these things, but great. Tell me. Yes, I think they suck too. How do I get better? Like,
then you have to have an answer.
Yeah, well, yes. But if the reaction is just defensiveness, then you spend an hour just breaking through the defensiveness instead of actually making progress on the thing. Like, you could have spent this entire time actually just going through your clients and building momentum for all of them, and you'd be way ahead of the game instead of just being defensive.
The clients that the team delivers for has people on that. This is why I'm saying, like, it's outside of the stream. I don't drive any project in the company, right? I'm brought in, I'm pulled into projects based off of the need, or someone on my team who's driving the project pulling me in. So,
are you proud of the momentum that Banter is delivering for its clients?
No.
Great.
But we already know that. See, like, so, like, you're like.
So then how can you inject more into it? Even if it's 5 minutes of market, I think you're a genius. I think you can come up with stuff super quick. If you just said, pick a client, I'm going to spend 5 minutes today thinking about how to bring more momentum to them.
I agree. That would be a very good thing to do.
Great. So put that in your calendar. You don't drive the momentum. You're in the business. Your whole company's in the business of driving momentum.
And for the most part, I need to know. I need to know. Whatever. That's fine. Okay.
Even if you don't need to know, even if you have a COO, great. Like, Louis, what can we do? What have we done for this client in the past month? Nothing. I don't like that. What can we do? What can we do? Even if you don't have the answer, you're just injecting momentum and putting it on people's agenda.
That doesn't happen in the operations. If we're following the procedures with our real clients,
yes.
None of that's like things don't go by for a month without having a conversation, talking, driving, pushing forward on projects.
It doesn't matter. You're not proud of the momentum that you're driving forward. So it can be better. That's what I'm saying. And you can be the driver of it. You're not going to be hands-on every project. That's not your role. I mean, you can't edit every video and write every copy and all that stuff. But
I can't even review everything we put out. I mean, we put out so much stuff.
Too much. Yes.
I don't know every email or every conversation or every decision or where we are with projects.
But the more that you care about momentum and focus on it, it'll guide the team to focus more on it as well. That thing bothers you, like this conversation that we're having, you should be having with your team. I know we said we're going to get it done in September. What are we doing right now for it? What do we do this week to think about that client? Like, as unreasonable I'm saying that's the business you want to run, where you're being that and your whole team thinks that. Everybody gets upset if you haven't been in touch with a client with an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's right.
I totally agree with you.
I know, dude. I know, but you're fighting it.
I'm only fighting it because of the reality of today, not where we're going or what have you. You're taking a very specific example between just you and I that no one on the team even knows about, and then you're blowing it up to the entire operation. That's the thing that's like a little bit ridiculous to me.
Well, but this is what you want to do. Make that connection more simple, because it's like how you do one thing is how you do everything. It's the mindset of how you approach it. It's the mindset of how you approach it. You can, if I came in and said, okay, let's look at Mark's projects for his clients, and let's look at the timelines we said we're going to deliver on, and I asked them to pick how many of them are we actually doing way more for? How many of them we thought about speeding up the timelines and pitch them ideas? That'd be a pretty low percentage, because it's not being led by the top, because you don't actually believe it, because you're just following the systems. And it's good. Like, I'm not saying you slack off and you're months behind on projects and don't believe in getting stuff done. I know you want to drive results for people. I get it. But that process, you're going to have to, the same argument you're giving me, you're going to have to deal with for your team, because they're going to say, Mark, we don't have the resources. Mark, this is unreasonable. Mark, we can't do more. Mark, what are you talking about? Mark, I've already got my hands in 1,000 projects, Mark. And you're going to say, dude, spend 5 minutes every week thinking about each client that you're responsible for and how you can bring them more value and add more momentum to the relationship. You're going to have to, everything I'm saying, you're going to have to be the pitch man for, because it's what you actually want to do. It's like, do you want it to take 6 years to happen or 6 days?
No, that's what I have Louis for. I outsource it to him.
But you're the guy at the top.
Yep. Anyway, I don't know how much fun this podcast episode was for people to listen to. Go ahead and leave a comment or email us and let us know, hey, was it fun listening to Evan beat Mark up? Are we getting tired of Mark therapy session, or are we digging this?
Dude, I'm so excited for you.
Are you?
Yeah, man. You're so close. This is ridiculous. Like, you're going to come back in 3 months and have this fully embraced, and you're going to be the momentum machine.
Things are really heavy right now because we're going through we've been going through 5 months of transition. We are going through a tremendous amount of transition in the next 3 weeks. So yeah. It's just
but even
you know what it is? It's a sinking feeling that just won't go away in the pit of your stomach. Yeah.
Even it's more the intention than anything else. Listen, if you said, I know it's driving me nuts, I've been thinking about it too, but I've just been caught up because of I feel really bad. That's different than, what are you talking about? You always do this. We had timelines, and I'm not even thinking about you until September, right? That's what sparked. I'm pissed that you're thinking that way.
Yeah, but it's just a weird dynamic to the relationship because, like I can pluck out things that you just don't do where you're like, I just don't do that. I don't do that. And I could say, why aren't you, and get all mad at you, but it's, about why aren't you feeling things that you don't feel? Why don't you think the things you don't think? Why don't you remember things that you should remember? But you're just you.
Yeah, but what's the difference?
I don't know. You think a lot of yourself.
No, well, I do, but but the thing that I'm picking on is the thing that you actually want to get better at. You can pick on my memory all day long. Awesome. Like,
it's more of a joke than anything, but yes, it would have been helpful if you remember the conversation we had about timelines. Then you wouldn't be so angry with yourself, right?
No, I still want momentum. It's awesome. We agreed to these timelines. Yes. And
well, all that said, the next day I texted you, and then I knew yesterday is your project day where you work on your projects for yourself.
Yeah.
So I texted you last night and I asked how the videos are going.
Yeah. And I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. But I love it. Like, he followed up with, now the first one was kind of, you mailed it in because you only did it because you felt like you had to. The second one you didn't.
No. I didn't only do it because I felt like I had to. I did it because in our conversation, you gave me permission to have you do the work. That's different. When we left, we agreed that I was going to do the work by the end of September. And in our conversation, you agreed that you would take it on. And so I sat down and spent the time because you've now taken the ball and have run with it. It's not because you yelled at me. That kicked it off. But it was more like you stepping up and saying, okay, I'm going to do this now. Tell me what to do and I will do it.
If you bought into it, you would have done that for all your clients. You would have found the way.
We're a service-based business. We're not in the business of saying, hey, we can't get to this in the next 7 days. You do it. That's not.
It doesn't have to be putting it on them, but it could just be, there's always ways to add more momentum. If you spend 5 minutes per client, you would find a way to add more momentum.
Yes.
So you could have done that, but you didn't buy in. So you just sent it to me, which that was a throwaway because it's expected. But when you messaged me yesterday to say,
no,
hey,
it changed a bunch of things because on Monday we had a conversation with Alex about TDS and we were blue skying ways to make the things better. And I gave him 5 low budget ways that he can help improve our things that were on him. And then I checked out your Facebook thing and I went, hey, your Facebook page sucks still. Really, really sucks.
Yes, great.
So I then emailed him and I said, you got to fix this. Get this fixed now.
Nice.
And there are things that we would never do or charge for. So I can learn really, really quickly and apply it.
I know, dude. That's why I'm so upset.
But then don't be mad at me for not thinking of it. You get mad at me for not thinking of things that are blind spots.
No, it's not caring. It's not caring about it.
If I don't think about it, I don't care about it.
What?
No, if I don't think about it, I won't care about it.
No, if you don't care about it, you don't think about it. If you're caring about it, you'll think about it. You just will. You come up with ideas. It's awesome. So when you messaged me yesterday, it's on me, right? It's like Mark's, I had a bunch of other priorities yesterday. I'm not even thinking about my website, right? I'm focused on getting my YouTube course out and my book.
Mm-hmm.
That's on my mind right now. So yesterday I wasn't even thinking about it. I get a message from Mark saying, hey, how's the website coming along? I don't know, I got nothing. I love it, dude. I love it, right? It's like Mark's here thinking about the website while I'm not. And it took you 45 seconds. And that's it. And you send a quick message. But Mark's on the game. Like Mark equals Mark Momentum Drager. That's it. We got to change the name. Mark.
So it's no longer Mark Disappointed Drager?
No. Get rid of disappointed. What's your real middle name?
Daniel.
Mark, forget Daniel. The D's are out. Daniel equals disappointment. Goodbye. Mark Momentum Drager.
I'm named after my grandfather, who's a bit of a hero of mine. So I'm going to go ahead and keep my middle name Daniel. But
listen, I think you need an MM and a DD. Okay, how about that?
Okay, Mark Momentum Daniel Drager. There you go.
The MMDD. Yeah. That's it. 45. That's all I'm talking about. Is the 45 seconds. Is the thinking about it. Apply that to all your clients and to all your team members.
I just say I haven't really been looking at it, but I've just remembered now that you're standing in front of the earth. Because when we were in this conversation, I was just looking into your eyes. But yeah. Now, quick question for you.
Yeah.
We're 3 minutes over. Do you have hard outs?
Yeah, it was 3 minutes ago. It was my hard out.
Oh wow, you're late for the next thing.
This is important because I care about Drager. Forget Dragersaurus. It's Mark Momentum Daniel Drager. That's it. Focus on
momentum.
There we go.
I was just playing you. Yes, focus on momentum.
Okay. We love Mark. If you love Mark, give him some love in the comments. I love Mark. You love Mark. We all love Mark. We're cheering for you.
Mark just needs to learn how to love Mark, I think.
No, you already are. This is the process. You already are. You already love yourself more than you did. This is it.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. We will catch you next week.
If you want to see the last episode of my podcast with Mark, it's fire. The link is right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
And on this week's episode, we talk about the 3 things that hold every entrepreneur back.